You may have seen a recent video by my friend Graham Stephan talking about the Gary Vee grind, that hustle for more money.
So this video is meant to be about the rest part of Gary Vee's advice, or lack thereof. In fact, no rest, because Gary is known for the hustle, the work 24/7, the grind harder than anybody else.
Because it is literally every second of every minute of every day. Imagine not doing anything fun or going anywhere for the next 8 years, including Saturday and Sunday. That's what I did.
Well, today we're gonna talk about the real problem. So what is the real problem with Gary Vee? Is it his persistence, or is it his measurable success with VaynerMedia that leads people to think that he pontificates in order to sell more, close more deals at VaynerMedia? No, that's not it. What it is a lack of understanding by the people who watch and follow Gary Vee, those who admire him, possibly you, that misunderstands the message that Gary Vee is trying to convey. Gary is astute in what he says. He's very clear in his mantra.
I don't think there's anything wrong with chasing money. I just think that it's usually the quickest way not to get it.
But while he's very clear, we continue to associate Gary Vee with the grind, work ethic, and money hustle.
But the one thing that bothers me is his mantra of put your head down and work.
If you put your head down and just work.
Why is that? Because psychologically it's much easier for us to compare ourselves via the fallacy of the toxicity of relativity, using numbers to be relative to those around us, rather than compare ourselves to our own ambitions, our own goals, and our own quest for personal success. So what are we left with? We are left with only those who are highly motivated to chase money. Those, much like Graham says, who compete for the number of hours they worked or the number of profit that they made at the end of every single day.
Is a way for you to say, I work 12 hours a day, or 14 hours a day, or 16 hours a day.
Then we have those who watch.
There's so many people that are talking shit about how big of an entrepreneur they're gonna be and how much they're gonna achieve, and they don't work on weekends. You know, I worked every Saturday of my 20s.
Therefore, we have on one hand the people who associate themselves with the grind, the quest for money, which ultimately leads to unhappiness, bitterness, divorce, and bankruptcy.
But I have friends who have $100 million in the bank because of Facebook's IPO, who complain.
Then on the other hand, we have those who find Gary Vee's message redundant, overbearing, or stale. They choose to sit on the sidelines, to settle, to seek, and constantly be on the quest for a life of balance rather than one of success, and seek to watch and complain as others seek their own success, yet unfortunately, often in the wrong way. Now, while neither of these are inherently wrong, both are practically wrong. The permutation of Gary Vee's message is highly misunderstood. It is so misunderstood that the same exact question can lead to the same amount of frustration from Gary Vee every time it's mentioned. How can I make more money so I can be happy?
So I don't think it's an evil or it's wrong. I think people are confused to why they try to amass it and for what. Like, how much do you want to make? It's arbitrary. What's it based on? Like, we have to unwind what's been pushed in our heads. You know, 20, 50, 72, 4, 9, 6, what? To me, my big one is, can I do what I want to do every day?
Folks, this is the truth. This is the real problem with Gary Vee. It's not what Gary says, it's the way his message is received. See, Gary Vee is very clear that his ambition is starting the quest for success and the journey towards success.
I love the game of growing. You know, like, to me, the best part is the beginning. I love the thrill of the chase.
He takes setbacks as minor speed bumps and instead focuses on the mission at hand, moving forward, constantly having a net growth, rather than complaining about that one step back, cheering the 2 steps forward.
Everything is about, like, take full ownership for everything, and then everything gets easy, because then you're in control.
Complaining, after all, is toxic, yet so many of us spend so much time complaining and concerned with our faults that naturally our quest for happiness, money, and success are unattainable.
When I watch people that are driven by money, I see a lot of unhappiness and failure. It's very common. I think the question is why? What do you need? And do you have a sense of that? Because, by the way, it evolves. It's unbelievable how much I don't like money. I like the game. I love my game. I love the game of building shit. It's why building a legacy is the best because it's like triple compounding valuable, right?
That's why we ask, why are so many millionaires and multimillionaires unhappy? What is the human condition? What is the flaw that Gary Vee is trying to expose but has not yet either clearly articulated himself or articulated in a way that his audience will understand? What is the real problem of Gary Vee? Let me first start with a challenge. What is the first thing we think of when we think of Gary Vee? I guarantee you it is not the real problem with Gary Vee. It's not what he really conveys that we know Gary Vee for. While I'm about to reveal that, you probably associate Gary Vee with the person who sleeps little, works 18-hour days, has an incredible work ethic and drive and energy. But folks, that again is the wrong conclusion to draw when we talk Gary Vee. Gary Vee says that it is the use of a vehicle to pursue destinations, and it is that pursuit in itself that creates happiness, contentment, fulfillment, and success.
Correct, but I also think that people confuse the vehicle then. So I think people don't often get the right vehicle for their destination.
Note very clearly that this is not a distinction relative to our friends or those around us. The keeping up with the Joneses attitude. The destination is not, I have $10 million, he only has $9 million, I'm a winner. That's not the destination.
Tricked out. And that's why, I'm gonna start pushing this. I said it for the first time really heavily up there, like the ROI, winning in life is happiness, not money. People are just so, Like what I'm most happy about is if you just love the process.
The destination should always be driven by our own goals, our own quest and endeavor for legacy.
I was pumped. I was on a mission to build a family business so big so that everybody on earth would always say I did the right thing by my parents in the way they did to me. I don't think there's anything wrong with chasing money. I just think that it's usually the quickest way not to get it.
See, we extract the best within us when we compete against goals of our ambition, not against the goals of those around us. Therefore, to say that grinding is what creates misery is a disservice to the intent that Gary again is trying to convey. Yet this misery is one that I can personally relate to. I released a video a few weeks ago showing my actual tax returns, and especially the tax returns of the year in my life that ended up being the worst year of my life. 2015, when I was 23 years old and net $391,000 from real estate sales. I was grinding for 16-plus-hour days of solid, straight work without breaks, without fun, without any of the things that ordinarily create us happiness. I was essentially the epitome of what people think of when they think of Gary Vee. But again, I was wrong. I hated that. And what changed? And what finally is the real message of Gary Vee? I came to realize that the only thing that would truly leave me happy was not grinding, or not grinding and not being happy, but instead fulfilling a legacy, an ambition, an achievement standard that I set personally for myself relative to no one around me, not in terms of a subscriber count or a dollar figure in a bank account or a number of units or properties that I own, but rather a legacy that I felt was fulfilling to me and those around me that I loved, to where those around me could say, Kevin was known for fulfilling his legacy, not somebody else's. And therein, folks, is the true problem with Gary Vee. It's not Gary Vee. It's not the grind, it's not the hustle. It's you. It's the watcher. It's us as a community that misunderstands the message that Gary sends. The message is not grind and hustle to grind and hustle and make money. Grind and hustle. If you within yourself establish that grinding and hustling is going to be what makes you pursue your own dreams, your own realities, your own ambitions. And if your ambition is to sit at home and not grind, great. Then you can easily fulfill that. But if you have a greater ambition, then that and only that is what should be your motivating factor. Money is a tool. Money is not the end goal. Money is a tool that enables our pursuit of our ambition, of our success, and of our ultimate legacy. Because after all, we can't take money with us. So ask yourself, Are your goals built around the principle that you will or want to have more money or more material things, material objects than the people around you? Or is your goal to live life relative to your own ambitions and your own definition of success relative to nobody else? If it's the latter, then the very first test to you grinding and hustling towards your personally set ambition, unrelative to anyone else around you, is your happiness. And I can finally say, finally, I'm happy.